Hello everybody and welcome back to Farm Sim 25 and welcome back to our Take Over the Map challenge here on Survival 4X. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are sick. I apologize. So my voice is going to be miserable probably throughout this entire recording. But you know what? The work on the farm doesn't stop, so neither do I. We got a lot of work to do today. The workers are already out in the fields starting the harvest for the corn and the soybeans. We've got the grass getting cut. We've got goats over here asking for their milk to be sold off. We got a lot of stuff. So we've already got our truck loaded. Let's get this thing into town. Let's sell off some goat milk for an absolute bonkers amount of money, and then we'll figure out what we got to do from here because we got a lot of work. Plus, I got a special little secret to show you guys. We'll show you that in a minute. First things first, it's time to get this thing over to town, get this milk delivered. I hear the dairy is very much expecting it, and they are willing to pay a premium for it. So, you know me, when it comes down to it, I'm all about to making the money. Now, some of you probably are going to recognize that we haven't actually made as much goat milk this year, and the simple reason is I've been selling off our goats. Now, I don't think you're supposed to sell off your goats, but I sold off some of our older goats to make room for some younger goats, just to kind of keep the population going a little bit. And yeah, so our overall production of milk is probably a little bit lower, but you know, in my mind, you wouldn't be able to keep just the same goats constantly milking forever. Eventually, their production would drop off. So being able to replace them over time, selling off your old goats, bringing in some new baby goats, that sort of thing, just keeps the farm up and running for longer. So, whoa there, killer. Let's not tip it over today, shall we? Let's try to keep it under control. Now, the other thing that we need to think about is that I believe we have our sunflower harvest today. We have our soybean and corn harvest, plus the grass needs cut. So that's all of the harvesting that's got to go. It's kind of crazy today, but yeah, we're going to be okay. I think I'll bring this sucker right in here. And 183,000 plus 19,800, so right in the neighborhood of $200,000 in the bank. Not bad. Stop clicking, belts. Alright, let's get this thing back over, pick up the rest of it, and then we will be able to deliver the rest of the milk for another chunk of change. Then we got to figure out what we're going to do with the rest of the episode. Like I said, both of the harvesters are currently being used, plus we have an extra field this year to harvest, so we got that going for us. I don't think we're going to make enough money to buy another harvester. Although I did think about it. I was like, wonder if we're going to have enough money to buy a harvester and then get a sunflower header. But I don't think we're going to have that kind of money. So we'll just use our corn harvester for now. But we'll get this back over to the goats. Get all the rest of the goat milk picked up. Go ahead and open the curtain side. And then swing her up and around. Beautiful. Load them up. So yeah, we actually made a substantial amount less this year from goat milk. And again, that's because I'm selling off the goats. But I think we'll be good for selling goats for a little while. We'll be able to make a decent chunk. Doesn't, oops, should probably close the curtain side, huh? It doesn't take that long for the goats to reach sexual maturity, I don't think. So they should be producing milk before we know it. We also got to, at some point, figure out what we're going to do. Are we going to try to plant onions one more time and see if maybe it was just a fluke? Or are we going to pivot away from onions? You guys will have to let me know what you guys think. I think we give them one more shot, but I don't know what happened. Somebody said that they were ready to harvest, but they're not. Somebody said that they think they were ready to harvest, but that's just how they look. And if you go back to the first harvest, they look completely different. Like I said, this showed up as withered on the entire field. So I don't know what happened, but the whole field was black. Not ideal. I think we can all agree. What I'm wondering is, was there a fire that I didn't notice? You know, because remember we had a fire that happened off screen, or off the normal screen for you guys, but I didn't even get to see it. It literally popped up and said fire is out, and it was fire from field 31, which was our wheat field, and our wheat field had already been harvested, and it was raining at the time. So I don't know. Like, it was just one of those weird moments that I just don't understand. But there's another $61,000 in the bank. Sorry, $63,000 in the bank. So that brings us up $347,000 total. Get this back over to the farm and park the truck up. And we'll go up and check on the cows. We'll check on well, I already checked on the chickens and the goats. They're fine. But we'll check on the pigs when we get back, and then we'll check on the cows. We want to make sure everybody's doing okay. They should be. The eagle-eyed among you may have noticed the secret already, but if you didn't, don't worry. I'll show you in a minute. Alright. There's our piggies. We're going to have to go check on them. The good news is I don't have to worry about the field at the moment because there's nothing on it. Like, I mean, it's technically planted, but the crop destruction only kicks in once it hits a certain growth stage, and for wheat that takes a while. So we should be good to just pull right up in here like so. Shut her down. All right. So let's travel down to our goats. Or our pigs, sorry. And you can see we currently have 180 pigs, so we've actually had a second round of piglets being made. You'll love to see that. And we are still good on food for the time being. Still good on straw, so we don't have to worry about any of that. We're doing okay. So that is beautiful. Love that for us. The other thing I probably ought to look at is whether or not, I guess we would have to come over to here. But if we go down here, our pigs right now are currently up to $1,500 for the adults. I think they get a little bit more than that, so I think we're going to let them grow a little bit more before we get into that. Plus, any time that we can let them go for a little bit longer so we get more piglets, that would be great. Because this thing can hold up to 400 and something. Yeah, 400 exactly, actually. But I love the little piglets. Look at them. Look at how cute they are, just sitting there. You guys are just cute, little brothers. Or, in this case, sisters. Alright. Let's save. We're going to head down and check on the workers. Make sure everybody's doing their jobs the way they're supposed to. Which I wouldn't see why they wouldn't be, but, you know. Always good to check. So we'll jump into the soybean harvest first. He's actually almost done with the first field. Love that. That done. You can see that the corn harvest, we started on the small field as well, so he should be done with that before long. Overall, the yield seems like it's okay. I wouldn't say it's great, or wouldn't say it's terrible. Corn harvest, though, is almost done. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Let's go up to our cows, though. Alright, so here at the cows, we currently have 60 animals. You guys know that. You guys saw them in the last episode. We got plenty of food and everything for them, so they ain't got to worry about that. They've got plenty of meadow. They've got their little pond up here. Let's just come down the hill and check and make sure they're still happy cows. Now, some of you guys said that it was just the fur that's really thick on them. So maybe the Highland cattles aren't really that big. They're just furry. They're fluffy. But they sure look big. I'll give them that. But the limousines are pretty good size too. And look how happy they are. I just love them. I love the like energy that these guys all seem to have. But man, it's so nice to have a bunch of animals laying around. All right, let's head up here and I will show you guys. So a long time ago, we left a tractor in the possession of the store. We left it over there because we said that they could use it to load things on and off trailers and so on and so forth. But I decided to reclaim said tractor and bring it over here to our cattle farm. So now our UTV, Universal Tractor, that we had all this time is back on the farm, baby. Right where she needs to be. So we'll use this in order to fill up, or like make sure that we can keep the cows happy and filled with bedding and everything. The other thing that I needed to look at, though, is we don't have a manure heap. So let's see what we can do about a manure heap first and foremost, because I feel like that's just a missed opportunity for money down the road. It's not a lot of money, but it's money. So if we can come up with, I believe it's under silos, these manure heaps. Yeah, so this can hold 4 million liters. But the downside is like it only turns a certain way. And I hate that. Like, I don't know why it's doing that, but it is. And it's not snapping either. Because even if you turn snapping off, it does the same thing. It only rotates in 45 degrees. I hate that. I hate that so much. But because of that, I think we're stuck with it. And we're going to have to put it out here. Again, I hate it. I hate that they make you, like, put it a certain way. Like, I want to turn it. You know? We didn't have this issue over with the pigs. It lined up perfectly. But up here, it just looks out of place. Like, I would love to put it alongside this building flush, but can't do that. So I'm assuming that we want to put it this way. Just because this is the where the slurry and stuff comes out anyway, so we'll just put it over here, I guess. Yeah. Not ideal. All right, let's just put it down before I talk myself out of it. There we go. And then obviously we can go in and soften the area to make sure that we don't have any goofiness going on. As far as everything else goes, I think we just paint that with some mud. I think it's fair. Boop. There we go. Perfect. All right. So now we have a manure heap officially, right? So this should start to fill up over time as our cows, you know, do their thing. And our worker has finished their task. Beautiful. That will be the corn harvester, which is perfect because we need to get the corn harvester back as soon as possible so that we can go harvest the sunflowers. So we will go ahead and head this direction. And the other worker has finished theirs. Man, that was perfect timing, wasn't it? Oh, wait, no. Who just finished? Oh, it's the sprayer. Sprayer finished. Alright, let's fold this up then. We'll get this over to the other wheat field. It won't take very long at all for him to get through that. I told you, we had all kinds of stuff going on today. Corn, soybean, sunflower harvest, spraying the wheat fields, taking care of our animals, hauling the goat milk, like all of the things. Just all over the place. But that's the beauty of a farm, man. I love our little farm. Or I guess at this time we can't really call it a little farm. I mean, we own over 1,200 acres. Alright, so let him do his thing. Make sure that he's going to start. Beautiful. Alright. And now we want to actually go over here. Check on this guy. I don't want to start the corn harvest until the soybean guy is going on the next field, because I feel like as soon as I start that, he's gonna say he's done. But I think he's down to the last little bit, so as soon as he finishes this row, I'll fire him. We'll finish the little bit that's left, and then we'll send him over to the other field. Then we'll start the corn harvest. Then we're going to finish the corn harvest, get the grain off, or the corn offloaded into the silos, and then we'll go from there and see what we got to do in terms of sunflowers. Now, I did go ahead and repair both of the headers, because our headers were right around 30% damaged, which means you would start to lose yield or potentially break down, because we do have the breakdown mod. We don't want that. But now we just come through here, get the last little bit. Alright, then we'll just cut across the cornfield. Now, we do need to lime this year, too, so that's something else I'm going to have to start thinking about. I got to try to get our guy liming already. So I might start that while we work on the next part. I hate to think of how much lime we're going to go through. These fields are so big down here. Alright, we're just going to pull onto the field. And then we're going to let the AI worker do his thing. And then we are going to set ourselves up here. All right. Off we go. Get that corn harvest. Now, because I can do this a little bit faster, I'll just do this one. And that way we get the corn harvester back, and then we can go over and harvest the sunflowers. So you might get 2 time lapses today. You'll get a time lapse of this, and you'll get a time lapse of the sunflower harvest. Good news is it doesn't look like we lost as much soybean and corn this year from withering, so that's good news. Considering we did lose an entire field of onions, which is heartbreaking. That's a lot of money lost right there, that field, because I forget how many onions we got the first year, but it was a significant amount, and they made a decent amount of money. Plus, we had put in some productions to get ready for the next harvest of onions so that we could do onion rings. And unfortunately, that plan went out the window for this year. But that is the way things go sometimes. Every time you make plans, something has to happen to sidetrack you. We'll put those plans on hold for a little while. But ideally, I'd like to get all this harvested today. looks like we're both going to finish our headlands right about the same time. Which is kind of funny considering mine is so much bigger, but again, I get to go faster. I'm like 14 miles an hour faster than the AI is at using the same equipment. And that's not even including how much more efficient I am at taking corners and stuff than the AI.
Roll the old girl down the hill. Paint is faded, tires worn still. She's worked these fields through dust and trust, proving that old friends don't rust. Hook that case up one last time. Thought she'd carry every climb, but the hills were just too mean for that traction king machine. Goodbye wheels that saw me through. You did everything you said you'd do. Seasons change like blowing dust, but old friends, they don't rust. Dealer yard and gravel lanes, trading stacked with stories and pain. They shake their hands and drive away. Tomorrow needs a different way. Goodbye wheels that saw me through. You did everything you said you'd do. Seasons change like blowing dust, but old friends, they don't rust. One last glance, a little sigh. No regrets, just reason why. Sometimes letting go is trust, 'cause old friends don't rust.
Alright, so we got the corn harvest completed. Looks like one of our workers just finished what they were doing. I'm assuming that is going to be our forage harvester. Just knock out this last little strip here that got left early. But it looks like we're going to end up with over 500,000 liters of corn, which is great. We'll get this put over into the silo, but first we got to drop by and put this header on the trailer. And our soybean harvest is almost done as well, which is great. The sprayer should have already been done a long time ago. We shouldn't have to worry about that. Like I said, we definitely got to do some liming. I may do the liming off screen though, because let's be honest, it's kind of boring to watch. And I'm going to have to refill that thing about 100 times. Now we will hook up to it, drag it with us. And head back to the silo as we are on our way to the sunflower field. Definitely looks like the grass is cut, so we're good there. We can take that grass, and then there's the sprayers already done as well. Beautiful. Everything's coming together. I think the last thing it's going to be is just us finishing up the sunflower harvest and then doing the lime. Might be one of those times where we buy a second lime spreader so we can do more quicker. I think that would probably behoove us. So, we are actually going to drop this right here for the time being. And then we're going to pull up here and dump our corn. Oh, crap. Well, I would dump the corn if the truck wasn't in the way. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Beautiful. Now we should be able to pull out, grab a hold of our header, and head over to the sunflowers. This poor harvester's getting a work in today. It's like, man, I haven't driven this far in a long time. Drive from one end of the map all the way to the other. This is one way to kind of give you an idea how long it takes to get across this map. I mean, we're doing 29 miles an hour, and it takes a couple of minutes anyway. Right. Now we are officially here. How many liters of sunflowers you think we're going to get off this field? Place your bets down in the comments below. I think it's going to be kind of crazy. Alright. Now I'm going to start this field initially with the AI, because I'm going to go down and start moving the other machines and stuff, so we're going to start this field on a worker first. And then I will jump in, we'll save, and we'll head down to grab the other harvester, bring it back to the farm, unload the soybeans, grab our sprayer, bring it back, park it up, and we still got to grab our forage harvester as well. Alright, we actually want, whoops, go ahead and unfold that, drop it down. So 315,000 liters of soybeans, seems to be okay. We'll get a check on the expected value out of it once we get everything back. Honestly, I ain't even going to bother driving that way. I'm just going to cut right across our fields. They're all harvested, so we shouldn't have to worry about nothing there. And I think we're done with the grain headers, so we shouldn't need that anytime soon. We'll park it up normal, and we will park up this, or we'll offload our soybeans into the silo. Let's set that there. Let's offload our beans. The reason we do this instead of hauling it now is, A, we have enough of the harvesters to not have to worry about going super realistic. And then on top of that, not only that, but it's so much quicker. Like, we're able to offload all of the beans in like no time flat. Same with the corn. And then when it comes to the truck, I only hold 176,000 liters on there, and it takes forever to unload it. Alright, let's fold this up. And we're going to park it right over here. Beautiful. Alright, now we want to jump in the sprayer, bring it back. Won't take us very long to get this thing back. It's actually pretty quick. We're about due for our first preventative maintenance on this thing as well. Alright, we're just going to reverse this in. I think I might keep this a little bit closer than I have been. Reason being is because I'm thinking about grabbing a couple of more lime spreaders. So this lime spreader here can hold 100,000 liters, but that is not enough. We need a lot more than that. But that being said, we need to go up here, grab our forage harvester. Let's put the rest of the grass in there. There we go. Alright, we ended up with over 3 million liters again. So that's great. We'll get this back over to the house. Feed the goats with what we can. And then put the rest in the silo to be sold off as silage. Other thing I want to look at is how we're doing in terms of TMR. We got over 2 million liters of TMR. So I think we're okay there. So maybe we stop turning into hay and TMR and just let it do silage, and then we can sell off the silage. That'll get us a little bit more money in the bank for next month. We'll get this back over to the farm. Like I said, put this in the big silo. Looks like we're going to need some fuel too. So might as well fuel it up on our way into the shed. So there were a few of you guys that were actually playing along with me. Let me know what you guys are doing in your series. Have you guys continued your series? Have you given up? Let me know. Interested to hear back from you guys. Haven't heard anybody talking about their series for a while. Alright, let's offload some grass. Beautiful. And then the farthest silo from us should be our big one. So we'll go ahead and put this in there. Beautiful. Alright, now we'll go ahead and drop this off where we parked the trailer. Put this forage harvester away. Might actually bring out the tractor and start with the Alright. Let's get diesel. While that's doing that, let's get out one of our tractors. Hook it up to the lime spreader, get the lime spreading started. I think we'll grab the Massey. The lime. I think we are going to buy a second lime spreader though. So let's go ahead and look into that. Alright, that's all fine. US configuration, maximum capacity. Cover will also be blue because that's what our lime has been, so there we go. Then we'll get this guy started. Then we'll run across town, grab that new spreader, fill it up with lime, get it started. Beautiful. I kind of wish they would allow you to go bigger on the capacities for lime. Because you do need it. Like I said, I'm going to have to fill this thing up so many times, it's crazy. We'll just start them on the first field. And then we'll hook up we'll grab the case and drive it across the town and grab the next one. Alright, let's go. Oop. Alright, this is full, so we can go ahead and park up our trailer. Put this in the shop. Beautiful. Alright. Save. Then we'll head into town and grab the other one. But this will give us 2 lime spreaders, so we should have no troubles there. Some of you are probably looking at me silly because I decided to do that rather than just empty the fertilizer out of that one and use that one. But I still might do that. I think it makes sense to have 2 full spreaders dedicated to lime. This thing steers weird. Can't imagine why. I did not hit that tree. Come on now. I didn't hit that tree. Alright, we're just going to cut straight across. All the power. All the speed. Literally looks like we're going warp speed in Farm Sim. Beautiful. Now while we're here, let's go check on our grain production. Or flour production, whatever you want to call it. I am thinking of buying a truck specifically for in town here as well. It'll be a cheaper truck, doesn't need to go up the hills or anything like that. So I'm thinking about just for this trailer alone. But how we looking? We have 11,000 liters, so we have 11 pallets in there. And of course, on the truck, we actually already have there we go, 5,000 liters. So we have 5 pallets there, 11 pallets in the thing. So it's doing its thing. It's not as quick as I was hoping for, so we may have to upgrade that over time. We'll see. It's just so expensive to upgrade it because it literally is the price of a brand new one. You just don't have to build a new one. You can just keep the same one. But it doubles the storage capacity, doubles the work capacity. That wasn't too bad to go across the world. Just filling up with lime. And then while that's waiting, we can go check on our sunflowers, see how they're looking. Fair enough. See all the little sunflower caps being cut off. But it looks like he's doing a pretty solid job, so I'm going to leave him to it. Now what I'll do is I'll grab the third one. That's right, we're going to have 3 of these little turds going. We will offload the fertilizer that's in here for the time being. Means I'm going to have to, like, stack it up. Oh my goodness, and it's full. That's only 20,000 liters, though. That's fine. Only. Beautiful. Alright. Let's go change the capacity on this thing so that it's maxed out. Beautiful. Alright. This way we'll have 3 different tractors working on liming, so the liming will go actually pretty quick. Because we got a lot to lime. Takes so long to fill up too. I will probably put one of these silos down that direction as well, just so that we have something down there to fill up from. As a matter of fact, we could do that while we're waiting. I believe it's considered a selling point. Or a factory. Okay. None of those? Oh, wait, no. It's up here. Containers. So this sucker right here. Alright, let's see where we're going to put it. I still think this spot right here is probably ideal. So we'll just drop that right about there. I think that's fine. Get this down to where it needs to go. In this field. Pull this one forward. Get it filling up. And while that's filling up, we'll go over here and stack all this stuff out of the way. Of course, I'll have to move my Kubota. Here for the time being. We'll just move all this stuff over and stack it up against the wall. Wonder if I can, yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder if I can throw these, but I don't think I can. Okay, that fell down. Perfect. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on. Work with me. Just a little bit. Really? What I'm thinking is we do... God bless America. Why you keep dropping stuff? When I want to fling it, you don't fling it. But I figure if we do 5 wide, 2 high, then that'll give us 2 rows deep. That should be 20,000 liters. Dude, something about when I first pick them up, they don't want to be picked up. There we go. Okay, sounds like we've finished filling up our lime spreader. So we'll get this one moving down to the field. This one will go in the soybean field that was across the way. Looks like the lime is doing okay here. Sure doesn't look like our guy is moving the lime spreader, does it? No expert, but it definitely does not appear like he's moving. I don't know why that would be, but I guess I need to pull onto the field first. You're fired. Get on the field. Thank you. Much better. You're already better than the last guy. Right. You are going to do the same thing. Alright. Now that we've got all 3 of the workers going, I mean, the one's almost done, so we might want to hang out, set him on the big field. He is about to be out of lime, though, so hopefully he's got enough to finish. The other thing we can look at is the actual precision farming pH level. You can see it's going to be much better. Also, we're due for buying some soil information. So let's go ahead and do that before I forget. And then the same thing here. And here. Beautiful. Now, these don't need to be purchased yet, so we're going to hold off on that. Only buy what we have to. Really hoping he'd finish this, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to. He's going to run out right before he does. Workers out of material. Alright, let's go grab some more lime. Fill up, we'll finish this last little chunk, and we'll send him over to the next field. Of course, the case should be able to do this field no problem. While that's filling up, we can come back here, finish stacking all of our fertilizer. Oh man, every time I try to go, it just like drops it. Finish stacking all of our fertilizer. Great, now that one in the back's trying to fall off. Farm sim physics got me down again. Really? Don't have to be perfect, I just want them stacked to where they look decent. Really? Alright, 2 more to go. And 1 to go. Perfect. Now we'll use that when we go to do our fertilizer for grass and stuff. Sunflowers are coming along. So we're doing okay there. And we are literally clicking on everything but the one we want. There we go. That's why I use the map a lot for teleporting, because now we've got so many vehicles, you just end up flipping through them forever. Alright. Let's get this back over here. Finish this little bit that was left on this field. And we'll knock out that big field. Beautiful. I think that's most of it. We'll hit this last little spot over here. Then we'll go over to the big field. Now, ideally, we'll run that fertilizer spreader over there out of lime. All right, let's get that started. We'll hang out with this guy for a little bit. I'll be honest, I love sunflowers when they're growing. They look so bad when they're actually ready to harvest. Like, they look terrible. And then the sounds from harvesting them, they're like, ugh, not a big fan. But man, I mean, we're going to have a boatload of sunflowers. Now, the other thing that we're going to have to think about is how we're going to upgrade our stuff. Now, we currently only have 107. Remember, we got a boatload of money at the beginning of the stream at the beginning of the recording because of our goat milk. And we're already back down to $100,000 in the bank. And we're broke already. Alright, let's go ahead and fire him. We'll jump back in. We'll do the headlands real quick. It looks like where he's at. We can do the headlands much faster than he can. We should have plenty of lime to do it. And we had just enough. Perfect. Alright, let's fill this thing back up with lime. I was going to say, I don't think this guy's actually on the headlands yet. But this should bring up our overall environmental score too, because one of the things that's been lagging behind has been our pH, because we hadn't actually spread lime on these fields yet. But you can see we are starting to do just that. So that's good news for us. And hopefully we'll run out of lime on this field. Back over and watch this guy for a little bit. I might actually take over and try to knock out the rest of this real quick. Alright, let me go ahead and set this up. There we go. Because I should be able to get this done a little bit quicker than they can. Definitely one of the least appealing things to harvest in this game. Just because it doesn't look visually like, it just looks terrible. There's nothing you can do to make sunflowers look decent when they're being harvested, apparently. Solo field looking nice and green. Alright, so there we have it. Sunflower harvest for the first time, officially done. We ended up with 342,628 liters, which is very, very solid, I think. That seems like a lot. Of course, I don't remember exactly what kind of yields you used to get on sunflowers on our Calmland series, so I have no idea what that is for reference. Definitely had some withering going on in this field, which is not ideal. So we definitely lost some yield there. get this header put back on the trailer. Get these sunflowers taken down to the mill, or to the silo. We will have to haul some to the oil mill for the first time. That'll be something we do here at the end of the episode. Hopefully that locks on. Okay. I was going to say, hopefully that locks on. Alright, let's get this back over towards the house. Definitely got our work cut out for us today, didn't we? Might as well save before something catastrophic happens. Then we'll go up and while we're driving towards the shop, we'll look at the pH as far as the fields that we're working on liming. And it looks like for the most part they got done. For the most part. Overall, the amount of work that we got done today was kind of crazy, but it has been a long recording session. I mean, we're looking at almost 2 hours so far for the entire session. But when you think about the amount of work that we just got done, we cut all the grass, right? We sprayed our 2 wheat fields. We hauled our goat milk into town and sold that off. We harvested both soybean fields, both corn fields, and the sunflowers field. And we limed the 2 cornfields and the 2 soybean fields. So there's a lot of work done today. Now we will have to kind of park this over here-ish. Don't need to go too crazy. Set it right there for the time being. I'll offload our sunflowers into the silo. Beautiful. Alright, let's put this thing back into the shop, and then we will go down there and get the case finishing up with the liming, and the other 2 can be on their way back here. We'll park this one right here in the corner. Alright, so we want to go down here, jump in the case, enter vehicle. Should be able to just tell it to go ahead and finish this field. And then we will jump in this one and get out of this field. This is our fertilizer spreader, so we're going to go ahead and take this straight back. We'll load it up with the fertilizer that's sitting there that we unloaded. Which just kind of reminds me why I shouldn't have stacked it all to begin with, so we kind of wasted time there. I didn't think about it, but the fact that, like, once we're done, if we run out of the lime in this one, we just filled it back up with the fertilizer. I thought I was going to be storing the fertilizer for a while. I do have to run one more thing by you guys. So, the John Deere JD120 and the Borgo whatever thing, the giant cedar, I don't think that we want to be using those anymore. First of all, they're kind of a pain in the backside for their own reasons. Second of all, while they are massive, they also aren't very efficient. The Kinze is much faster at everything. So I'm thinking we could sell those two pieces of machines off, and then we would be able to load up on another Kinze. And then that way we would have two Kinzes to plant whatever we need to plant, because the Kinze can plant everything. So to me it just makes sense to go with them. Especially as we're getting into that area where everything is taking so long to get done. The extra, like, finagling of the seed trains and everything, like, there's no reason for that. And that big red hopper right there is also probably going to be going away because we don't need it. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Obviously, we're not to the point where I want to do like 50-meter working widths or anything for the planter yet. I just want to be able to plant faster, and we can have two of the planters going at the same time for everything that we're doing. And at minimum, they're going to be doing 15 to 16 miles an hour with the worker, whereas the Borgo or whatever, it can only do like, I don't know, 9 or 10 miles an hour. I forget. It's 11. Maybe it's 11 miles an hour. But that'll save us a ton of money. Just the Borgo thingy alone is stupidly expensive. So if we sell that off, we ought to get a decent chunk of money back. I mean, sure, we lost money technically, but if we can get some of that money back, that would be great. And we should be able to buy a Kinze easy, because I think they're relatively inexpensive. And while they have a smaller working width, they just allow you to go faster, so I feel like they're better. Plus, they don't get hung up on everything. The AI works with them better. So it's just a win-win-win across the board. But again, I'll let you guys decide what you guys think about that. I'm just thinking from a, work perspective. Like we're starting to get to that point where everything is taking so long to get done that I feel like we're kind of running out of time. Also, I believe this is officially our longest series on Farm Sim I've done yet. By pure episode count, but also by the amount of hours that we have in. I don't think I've had another episode with that much time. Or another series with this much time. We're at total of 167 hours. Total. And as far as how much we've already worked this episode, we have done 428 and a half acres. Almost 429 acres. We will go ahead and fill this thing back up with lime, though. And then while that's filling up with lime, check and see what this guy's up to. See if we can't finish this real quick. I mean, he's barely used any lime, and he's taken too long to do it, so we'll just come in and finish this field. should be everything. Now we just got to do the same thing over here. We'll be done before we know it. What the hell was that? I think this is the last row, and then we just finish the headlands and we're done. Hopefully we got enough in here to finish this. If not, we do have the other tractor filling up. This just goes to show how much lime we had to use, man. We had 3 of these. We went through all 3 completely full. So there's 300,000 liters. Then we filled this thing back up. And we've gone through another 40,000 liters so far. Plus, we filled up the other one. So that's 500,000 liters. Or no, we had 3, that's 300,000 liters. Then we filled up the other one, so that's 400,000 liters. Then we filled up this one to finish off. So whatever we end up with, this will be 400,000 plus whatever we've got here. And boom. Alright, so 468,000 liters of lime to lime our 4 fields. That is kind of crazy when you think about it. That is kind of crazy. But the good news is we're done. So we'll get this back over to the shop, put it away. Then we'll come back, get the Massey Ferguson, put it away. Hard to believe we put almost 470,000 liters of lime down. It's so crazy. And that's just 4 of our fields. But yeah, so the big question I have for you guys is, what do you guys think about the plan to sell off the John Deere JD120 and the seed drill, the gigantic seed drill monstrosity that we have? Please let me know down in the comments. But for now, I think this is where we're going to leave off. I don't think you guys need to see me drive that last machine back here. Or no, we actually still have to drive, I forgot. We got to drive our semi over to the oil mill for the first time, deliver our first load of seed of sunflowers. So we got to do that. All right, let's get this back home. I do apologize for all the sniffling and stuff. Like I said, I am sick, so it's a thing. Hopefully it'll go away quickly. But I'm pretty sure it's just a really bad sinus infection. Definitely doesn't feel great, I'll give it that. But we'll get this thing put back, and then we'll grab the truck. We'll fill it up with, I don't know how much the oil mill can hold. Maybe we should save and then check on that. 447 acres that we worked this episode. That's a lot of acreage for one episode. But then you put that into perspective and remember that our new field for canola is 100 acres all by itself. I knew that was going to happen. I was worried where we were going to end up. At least we didn't end up in a pond. But actually, we had 280 acres of harvested, 166 acres of spraying. So, yeah, that's a lot of work, man. I don't know if they add all of that up into the worked acres, or if the worked acres is what we did for like lime spreading, and then the rest is its own thing. Because if that's the case, then we came close to putting in 1,000 acres of work in this episode. Obviously, we had AI for a lot of that, but you get what I'm saying. Alright, let's back this sucker up, park it. We'll jump in our grain truck. The work's never done, man, I'm telling you. Just always something. Let's jump in the old mustard machine here. Unfold it. Wait, why do we have wheat in the back? Why do I have wheat in the back? I have no idea why I have wheat in the back of my truck. It's weird. Let me unload the wheat first. Oh, because we took... Ah, that's right. I forgot. We took over a load to the flour mill, didn't we? Yeah, I forgot. So we didn't actually unload it. What a dummy. Gotta put that stuff back in the silo. So how much space do we actually have in the silos? Because remember, these are... I forget how big our silos are, but I don't remember them being the biggest. And it's not going to show me, is it? Yeah, I mean, we got 1.6 million, 1.7 million liters of grains and stuff in our silos right now. We will go ahead and grab some sunflowers. Now, I don't know if it'll tell me how much it'll hold. Sunflowers. It can hold 144,000 liters, so almost a full truck. So we'll do a full truck, take it over there, and then whatever we have left we'll put back in the silo. Don't forget to put it back in the silo. Don't leave it in your trailer. At least it was covered. One 144,000 liters. Obviously, I'm going to try to stop it at 144,000 if we can. So I'll keep an eye on the amount that we have. $20. $30. 40. Woo-wee! Only 188 liters over. Almost got it perfect. Alright, let's put that before I spill all my sunflowers. Almost got it perfect. It's pretty good stoppage there. Alright, let's get this over to the oil mill for our first delivery of seeds to the oil mill. This is going to be a good one. Now's where we get to find out whether or not I made a good entry and exit out of the oil mill. I feel like the oil mill is going to be easy compared to our flour mill. I made the flour mill a little bit too tight. That's on me. I mean, those darn city planners. How dare they? Golly. Now, we start every episode pretty much right about 10 o'clock in the morning. And it's 12:33 right now. So that tells you how long it's taken us to get through this episode. Total playtime is 2.5 hours since I started. Now, obviously, you guys didn't get to see all of the setup beforehand. But it just goes to show how much time we get to put into every single episode. Alright, our first delivery to the oil mill. Now, we want to do this right. We do not turn into the road that's closest to us. We go past it, and then the entry is on the other side. So we want to come right in through here. That's the employee entrance, so this one should be ours. Oh yeah, much better than the other one. Alright, let's dump this in here. The rear should go first. And then I guess we can go ahead and turn the oil mill on. We are going to start doing sunflower oil. Now, the one thing that we didn't do was figure out where it's going to unload at. Which I'm assuming is this spot right out front. I'm assuming this is it right here. Yeah. So, the only other thing I can think of is we're going to have to put in our little pallet thing. So let's go in to do that. It is considered a silo. This is for the auto load trailer. Right here. We want this to be... I'm assuming that the first spot would be to the left. I'm going to put that right there. I guess I'll find out soon enough if I'm wrong. But there we have it. That should take care of that. We have our 170 liters of sunflowers left. And we can head back over to the farm. Now, I didn't look to see how much that's going to produce. So, it's going to use... Well, we'll have to figure that out when we get back to the shop. Otherwise, I'm going to crash. Again. Alright, so oil mill, sunflowers. We got 96 cycles per month. It's going to take 200 liters and turn it into 100 liters. That's not ideal. That's going to need to be upgraded, I think. I think that's going to need... Because we're going to have canola, too. So, yeah, we're definitely going to want to upgrade that. We don't have the money right now to do it. But we're going to want to upgrade both our grain mill and our oil mill soon. I want to get to the point where our grain mill and our oil mill are able to take care of what we produce. That way we're getting the maximum profit off of the crops that we're producing. one other thing that I was thinking about was potentially starting a corn dryer or a grain dryer in town there too. But for now, I think we're finally done, guys. What an episode. So much work in this episode. Like I said, do not forget your homework. Let me know what you guys think about us selling off the John Deere planter and the fancy, like, ridiculous mega drills planter or seed drill. But for now, I think we're gonna call it a day. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.